But before we get into breaking that down, let's kind of talk about some of the stuff that's been going on at 155 pounds right now, where I saw Justin Gaethje is pissed off, and rightfully so, that Dana White is talking about if Conor goes in and beats Donald Cerrone, that he could potentially have a rematch with Khabib, or the winner of Khabib, something along those lines, right? And if that is the case, it makes zero sense because Justin Gaethje is coming off of a knockout over Donald Cerrone, right? Like, knocked him out cold in the first round. So if Conor beats a guy that Justin just knocked out, that's enough to earn a title shot against, if Khabib wins, especially a guy who has already mauled him. Okay, so I might be going out on a limb here a little bit. Let me know if I am. So what I kind of think is, if Khabib beats Tony, right? And let's just assume that he does. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think it's a tough fight for both guys. I think you're going to get a great fight. But let's say that Khabib wins in April, right? If Khabib wins, then if Justin Gaethje is your number one contender, then Justin Gaethje might potentially have the style to beat Khabib. He's got a very strong wrestling base, and he has legit knockout power, and he's wild and he's reckless, right? So he might be able to fend the takedowns off better than most guys, because one of the things about Tony is he does give up some takedowns. He's just so fucking good off his back that he doesn't care where the fight goes, right? But Justin has that wrestling base where he might not get bullied so much in the clinch, and he might not give stuff up, right? Like, it might be a tougher test to get Justin to the ground. So if you're the UFC and you're looking at this matchup, Khabib and Conor have already fought. You get the feeling after watching the first fight that if Khabib and Conor fight 10 times, Khabib is probably going to win a majority of those, right? So you get the money out of the rematch. Khabib takes, like I said, I'm going out on a limb here a little bit, but let's assume that Conor wins and somehow gets a rematch against Khabib. They've already fought once, so the rivalry's already there. You got all the footage for everything, all the marketing, all the promoting, right? It's all there. That's going to sell a much bigger pay-per-view fight than Justin Gaethje versus Khabib. It's just the reality of it. And if Justin goes in and beats Khabib before Conor gets to fight him again, the kind of aura around Khabib drops a little bit because he now has a loss on his record. So I think this is about squeezing the most money out of the situation as you can. I don't know. Like I said, that's like a little bit of a conspiracy theory, a little bit of a stretch, but that's kind of what it seems like. How can you deny what Justin Gaethje has done? Knockout over James Vick, knockout over Edson Barboza, knockout over Donald Cerrone. He's lost 2 fights in the UFC. One was to Eddie Alvarez, who's one of the best lightweights of all time. Say what you want about him, but he's the only guy to hold a Bellator and a UFC championship, right? Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Justin Gaethje also might be the first UFC champion from Pennsylvania, but I'm not 100% sure. One of the few, I would say. Anyway, his losses are against top contenders, and since then he's got 3 first-round knockouts in a row. Now, I don't know. The only way I can think that you're thinking about skipping Justin is for money. There's got to be something going on the business side of that where the UFC sees potential to squeeze money out of it before giving Khabib the more rightful contender. I don't know. Like I said, bit of a stretch. But anyway, moving